Greetings and salutations. Welcome to my stream. Hey Marauders, how's it going? I loaded up my computer a little bit later and nothing is actually loaded up in the background, so we're just going to hold here in the just talking screen while I get stuff sorted in the background. Music might get a little bit funky because it likes overlapping a little bit, although I don't think I've got it set up so you can hear the game. Not entirely sure. Yep, just as a bit of a reminder, there's a ban on talking about Cyberpunk 2077, just because I know that a few people hopefully will be joining us in the chat who haven't got the game yet and don't want anything spoilt. And also, you know, I'm only so far through the game and I don't want anything spoiled either. That is your only warning. And so yeah, I can't remember where I'm up to again in Pathfinder Kingmaker. It's one of them. It's all like yeah, it's so no spoilers. It's all like don't even talk about the game mechanics kind of level of sort of like don't just best if nobody talks about it. Basically, you know, I'll for one say that I'm enjoying playing Cyberpunk 2077 and I highly recommend it. However, don't recommend it if you really don't like a buggy game, and because it is a car crash of a buggy game. I just find it hilarious, and you know, I've not come across any game-breaking bugs at the moment. Okay, I can move away from this and go to this screen, where it's just loading up now in the background. I was wondering if you guys had trouble with random people commenting too negatively. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, and it's one of them where, you know, I'll critique it, and I will say that some of the bugs are just laughably terrible. I've had to save, quit, go back to previous saves to get some of the issues sorted out. But, you know, it's one of them things. It was an ambitious project. It got released all at the same time across 4 or 5 different systems. And, you know, some of the bugs that are happening, it's like it's no surprise. Yeah, I mean, it auto-saves fairly frequently as well. So it's all like, even when you know, because I had an incident where it was all like, no, I gotta reload this because it's just at a point where it's unplayable. And it was all like, okay, go back to an autosave, and it was all like, I think it autosaves like every 10 minutes or so, if not more often. But anyway, back to what I'm doing. I'm getting flashbacks. I'm raiding a goblin fort. Pretty much the entirety of last session was just making my way all the way around, and I'm guessing that this goes off this way and this comes down this way. I have not looted this area. I have looted this area. There's no melee weapons lying around. Okay, great stuff. Everybody's looking peachy. So we found that the goblins were forcing people to drink the river water, which seems to have the seeds of portals in there, which are dragging oversized monstrous creatures from wherever they come from to the prime materia. Okay, so I was right, that did kind of link up. Just grabbing some more stuff. And we're basically trying to save people and basically stop any goblins that are in our way. When you say it was difficult for you, I mean, in what way? You approach a massive totem of Lamashtu that is surrounded by goblins. Despite all the noise, you have made your way here. Nobody pays any attention to you. Right now, they are busy tying up screaming, crying people to the totem. A few more goblins are standing nearby, shrieking fiercely and stomping their feet in the rhythm of a melody only known to them. The shaman emerges from behind the back of his tribe members, a goblin you already know, covered in tattoos and bedangled with amulets. This time his face is painted with red clay and soot, and a necklace of sharp teeth adorns his neck. The shaman is holding a crudely painted bowl above his head and singing in a plangent dismissal tone that resembles a howl more than a song. The other goblins pick up the melody and give way to the shaman, who is walking towards the totem. What are you waiting for? We've got to save them. This must be stopped, please. Lawful good. Easy enough. Interfere with the ritual. Tristan raises his symbol of ceremony. Ceremony, please show us the way. At the sound of your attack, the goblins around the totem spring to their feet and grab their weapons. The shaman sees you and yells violently, throwing the bowl of water at you. Before you have time to react, he disappears in the goblin crowd, which, in turn, attacks you. I think I got too long before dealing with anything. The monsters that come who are really difficult to fight for my party. They trash my capital, and now I'm where you are. See, I've not done anything about trashing my capital. But I have been dealing with just about everything that's been coming up as and when it comes up.
This should do it.
Inspire is far too long for my liking. And I just dropped my phone, it'll be fine. I don't need it for the next couple of hours. I will pick it up. Well, that's something I'm expecting of delivering. I might have to make a quick AFK. When I say quick AFK, I'll basically be muting the mic and sticking my head out of the window and screaming at them that the door's open.
Repent!
Crossbow that person. No, miss twice. Great stuff. Move back a little. Lindsay, I'm going to ask you to sing me a song. I think it's because I ignored in lieu of other things and duties. I had to catch up in character quests to keep members of my party, and I think it went on unchecked for way too long. I had to do some really slick talking to keep down the revolt and the mass exodus from the realm. And now I had the revolt, and they were sort of like saying, "Oh no, this isn't good. We want you to do something about it." And I basically walked out there and said one line. It's like, "People, go back to your homes. I am actively investigating the issue. Just give me some more time." And they just kind of went, "Oh, okay. Back to home it is." It was really terribly, it was anticlimactical, that's what it was for me. But to a certain degree, I have been careful to keep things moving. But no, you're quite right. It is very, you don't get much in the way of hints, because most of the way through this entire chapter, I've been sort of like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because I've got all these, long-standing kingdom stuff that I could be dealing with, but I'm just ignoring in favor of dealing with whatever emergency is happening at my doorstep. To the point where it's escalated up to this point, but before anything majorly bad has gone wrong. But I don't know whether that's shooting myself in the foot for later, because I've done next to none of the investigations regarding the curse. And I've not really built, I've got a region where I've not got a village because I can't afford to put a village there. I've got 3 regions with villages and 1 town, and none of them are particularly well developed. I get this feeling that at some point that is going to come and bite me in the arse, because it's going to be sort of like, okay, now we need to rally an army, and it's all like, I got peasants with sticks, and I can't afford anything else because I've not built up the economy. The game is not really in the favor of giving you feedback on how well or badly you're doing. Yeah, I have a feeling that, you know, to a certain degree, need to split the difference between me and you, and maybe it's going to work out, but I don't, you know, until I get to the point where it's screaming at me, or I'm in too deep, I just don't know. Yeah, I was kind of fearful of that as well, because it's one of them where it's all like, if I accidentally get to a position where it's all like, oh, you need to go back, sort of like, because I've been making a manual save at the end of each session, and it's all like, okay, this is the point where I went wrong back in session 20. You know, that's 30 hours to get back up to session 30. This is session 31. Oh my, that's so much to catch back up on. Worse yet, if it's all like, I don't know where it went wrong, or it went wrong way before any of that. I'm not sure if I'm willing to basically start this game up again and go, okay, let's do things differently. You know, one of the things that I've been doing is, because I'm playing the lawful good, if anybody comes to my throne room and it's like, oh, we request, you know, you do this in favor of the fact that terrible things happened in our past and it's going to cost you hundreds of build points. Yeah, I mean, that is one option, which is something I'd be tempted to do. You know, to try and get over any hurdles like that, turn down difficulties. I don't want to, because I quite like the fact that I've started at a medium difficulty. Where are spells got off to? I tidied up my Tristan's spell list a little bit, and it's all I have no idea. Because I'd like to do a bless, but I don't think I've got a bless lying on. Bless is a first one. Oh no, bless I've not got put to at the moment. Okay. I don't really think it's worthwhile. Oh, I tell you what we could do is a controlled fireball at the back. That got rid of some goblins. Okay, that's... I don't need to bless anybody now. Lindsay takes out that one. Nice, they went after the tank.
Tear them apart!
Can you take out something? Yes, you can. Okay.
This is for
Talia,
you.
go for an acid splash. And I'll creep around and stab this guy lots of times. There we go. Okay, weapons. That'll do. Guys at the back. Short bow, dagger. They're all the same, so ditch all that stuff.
In due time.
Hello.
I believe I found something.
Peasants. Do not move. There is terrible things right at your feet. But yeah, I don't like the idea of turning down the difficulty, because one of the reasons why I couldn't really get into this game early on was just the fact that I've got so many, the real time was so
Enemy
difficult
approaching.
just to control things that I turned down the difficulty, and it made it just so that it was like, yeah, you're just walking through the plot. Oh, hello.
I'll fight if I have to.
You take care of that guy. Can you charge that guy? No, you can't.
They
But
go
you
down!
can do that. So yeah, just walking through the game with it being a cakewalk just didn't really appeal to me because it was solid. There was no challenge there whatsoever. But at the same token, it's all I can understand
This
where
will
it's all it
hurt.
gets to a certain point and you're frustrated. You don't want to stop playing the game, but you don't really feel
Let
like
us strike as
restarting
one.
it all over again. Especially when you don't know what you did wrong, or you potentially don't know what you did wrong. Because, you know, like you say, if you spent most of your time dealing with the major things rather than the little emergencies that were coming up, okay, yeah, maybe you could make a big difference if you did all the little things that kept on coming up and dealt with the bigger things when you had time. But there's no guarantee that you want to go one way or the other.
Any last wishes?
And so you might go through a second playthrough doing all of the tiny things and ignoring the bigger ones until you've got time to deal with them, and then find out that, you know, it's a flip side of it.
Do not falter!
Whereby, you know, you're here headwinds the rock. Do they have sneak levels? Oh yeah, they have rogue levels. Trust and
You
shoot at
forced
the
my
rock guy.
hand.
Slightly higher to hit chance. Target
You
on
can't
that
stop
one.
me!
Because I know for a fact that, you know, the end of session 30, which was the previous one, marked 80 hours of me playing this game. Or 80 hours of me streaming this game. And, you know, there has been one or two streams that I cut off a little bit early, some streams that went on a little bit too long, and there's the times where I've just been so like, I can't concentrate on the game and hold the conversation, so I'm just going to put the game on pause while I hold a conversation that might have lasted an hour or so. So, you know, there has been times when it's not really been about the game, it's just been about conversing. But at the same token, it's taken me 80
I'll
hours
try
to get
make this
here.
swift.
If it got to the point where I had to restart the game to try again, I don't think I could stomach burning another 80 hours to get back to this point.
Bring it!
And if not, potentially longer.
Tear them
I think one of the
apart!
things that you could do, somebody else mentioned in my chat one time, is like you can turn on basically
try
AI
this way.
controlled kingdom management, and it takes that entire aspect off of you.
Gorum!
I'm not sure how much I'd be in favor of doing that. Should I hit a roadblock with this? I'm just basically restarting it and saying, yeah, this time around I'm just not dealing with the kingdom management because I don't know what to do with it. But at that same token, it's like I feel that the kingdom management. What is Thinking Cloud? There we go. We got some more boxes. Oh, we're just going to take 3 fowls off the goblins. That seems like a brilliant idea. 2 blocks of soft cheese. A bag of fruits. Scattered in the dirt and our bones, bits of meat and other leftovers. Okay, so I've been up around that way. Oh, now that I've taken care of everything over here, The totem is covered in blood and colourful blotches. The stone is sticky with blood. Greetings, peasants. The prisoners are still chained to the totem. They look at you with vacant eyes as if not fully understanding what's happening. Examine the prisoners. The simple clothes, work-worn hands, weather-beaten faces. The people in front of you are clearly they're living under the sun or in the forest. Apart from bruises and grazes, nobody looks seriously hurt. The prisoners are looking at you slightly dazed, and a shadow of the horrors they've been through hangs over their faces. The path is free. Go to Creston and his militia, and they will take care of you.
That is not far.
So yeah, I suppose that might be an option, is to like restart the game, play a different class, do it without the whole kingdom management side of things. And you know,
as it should be.
At that point you just need to concentrate on the plot and the narrative, which might make it slightly easier. But I get the feeling, I feel that a lot of the like the narrative, the extra things that you do, the little parts of the kingdom that you take care of are intrinsic with the plot, and it's like it makes sense to try to...
I'm not afraid.
How did you miss? The goblin was standing right there. That's how you miss. You roll lots of ones on your... Where is it? Surprise round. It's a miss. See, it's telling me that that's the second attack, but I can't find the first attack. And oh wait, there we go. Okay, so I rolled a 13 and missed. I might want to consider doing some jiggery pokery. 40-foot burst. Is that going to tell me? No, it's not. It's just going to burst outwards. Oh good, it did clip everybody. Right, move up. Valerie, can you charge at all? No, you cannot. I think this is supposed to be a boss / mini-boss fight, so I'm going all in on this one.
They go down!
I mean, I'm saying I'm going all in. I've not really prepped for an all-in thing too well. Spiked pick, can I? No, you're gonna have to move up a little bit. Oh god, all them goblins and the wolf are gonna move before she gets a turn. Move back a little bit. Are you on strength? No, you're on constitution. Okay. Lindsay sings a song. Goblin gets to move before I do. That's annoying. So does the wolf. Love the way that the wolf just basically killed his own little goblin friend. Right, okay, I get 4 attacks.
This should do it.
Boom, boom. Not bad, not bad. Where's the goblin? Okay, not too bad. Not too shabby. Shabby? Shabby. Tristan, can you move over this way a little bit and flame strike that wolf? Because that wolf might be becoming a bit of a problem. Well, then, summon some medkits. Why not? 8 Faye. Right. Valerie, can you get round there? I want you to stand in front of the winter wolf. Right. Goblin King of the Shaman is the one that I really knocked up. Okay, that didn't quite work out according to plan. Yeah, this shaman's going to keep, potentially going to keep summoning and stuff. Right. Octavia, move over there a little. Take out that goblin cemetery. Lindsay, you also do the same. There we go. Got rid of the problem that breached the ranks. Move forward a little bit so we make sure that everybody's in song. Where's that shaman? There we go.
A calculated risk.
Okay, we're not doing too bad. Can we kill that shaman before everybody else kicks in? I don't think we can because we don't really have much. Flame strike. See, can I flame strike? Why is it not clicking that? It's flame strike out. Okay. Didn't quite do as much damage as I would have hoped to the goblin shaman. Because that's what I was kind of thinking he'd do, is summon even more monsters in. Because that's what you do when you summon a lot. Hey, Paizo actually liked my stream while my stream is active. I've been posting up that I've been streaming and tagging on Twitter and tagging in Paizo, Deep Silver, and Owlcat Studios.
Onwards!
Until usually most of the time about 2 or 3 hours later, if not longer, one of them will basically like my stream. I'm hoping at some point they retweet rather than just like. Oh nice, we actually managed to trip over the Goblin King. See, that's why I was focused on the Shaman. Basically, I've just gotten rid of all the summons off the deck. So, now we just need to... It's not even worth trying to sink those guys into a pit. Can we, though, just take these 2 out? That was slightly easier than I had planned. Move up for the next one next round. The wolf attacks. Valerie, actually, that's a reasonably good chance to hit that wolf out there. Oh, there went the Goblin King. Interesting, go for the Winter
So
Wolf.
it's come to this.
Better luck next time. Let's have some on the Winter Wolf. Nope. I would like you to charge at this goblin. There we go. One move, took it out. Great stuff. Now it's just this Winter Wolf.
Provoked.
And eventually somebody's going to be able to hit.
It.
That is precisely...
Let's try this way.
Long live the Goblin King. No, the Goblin King is dead. And oh my word, we need to take care of this Winter Wolf before it goes around and murders everybody and nobody can hit it. Alright, Valerie, I need you to... Valerie Amory, charge back over this way. Nope, you couldn't hit a diva. Okay, it's about to be its turn again, and I don't like it, but standing opposite provokes an attack of opportunity. You can probably take it. There we go. Right, now... Now run around to the other side of these people. Hey J-Station, how's it going? Do you have anything that basically just stop the wolf from doing things? And I could cast fear onto it, but why did I just skip the turn? I didn't want to cast a spell, but just skipping the turn, that's nonsense. Yeah, there we go. One of the tip. For some amount. Wow, what is this thing? It's So 14 magical beast. I love the way that it was like Shaman, not a problem, took him out. Goblin King, pfft, gone, not a problem. The pet, now there's a problem. Nobody can hit the bloody thing.
Tear them apart! They go down!
Henry got back up and crit it, that's
Any
nice.
last wishes?
Octavia with a sneak attack on a spell. It just
This
missed.
should
Come on,
do it.
mush it up.
You forced my hand.
I don't know. It's Tristan I don't expect to hit, but with the numbers that I need, you'd think that one of the 4 attacks would bloody well hit. There we go. At least Amory is competent.
I am your
Let's
shield.
loot oh. As you approach the Shaman bursts into agony, into a blood. As you approach, the Shaman bursts into bizarre squawking. After a moment, it becomes clear to you the goblin, choking on his blood, has broken into gloating laughter. The Baron is too late. The will of Lamashtu came true. The bloom is happening. What will of Lamashtu? So she is behind the seeds of the monsters? The Shaman's eyes, red, small and wicked, have a feverish glint to them. And who else? The blossom seeds came down the stream. We drink. Boom, boom. Longshanks drink. Boom, boom, boom. Flower grows. Great beasts crawl out. Lamashtu be pleased. I knew straight away what the goblins do must. Go up, stream, seek Great Mother. The Shaman convulses, sucking in air and carries on with the weakening voice. Find Lamashtu's wound up the river. Home of great beasts, seed breedery. Leave guard so no one come in, and go back. Make lang sharks gulp, taint more, so man death. All seeds be planted, all make it before what? The Shaman's words become quieter and quieter. We be Lamashtu's sons, watering, seed sowing, readying for the season of bloom. All together, boom, boom, boom. The Shaman emits a long wheeze and freezes, looking straight into your eyes. His dull eyes are lit by an evil flicker. The season of bloom has begun. You know stoppers. Oh, this could be a pain in the ass. I didn't actually get a chance. Can I? There we go. Oh, okay, I didn't get to it. At least I had a chance of skinning it, and it failed. Right, Shaman, Tenderloin, Talden Spur. Spear, Longshank Bane, breastplate +2, belt of physical form 4. Oh, that's just Dex and Constitution. And ring, Paragon of Winter. This ring grants its wearer and the monsters summoned by them cold resistance 30 and vulnerability to fire. Okay, so maybe I should have been using fire on... Well, no, because that didn't really go up against its summoned monsters. Alright. I mean, if I was a concerned king, I might go running down the hill and find out what bad things happen to my people.
A trivial matter.
Ooh, the vest of 100 pockets. Its wearer gains +5 competency to all trickery skill checks. Okay. Composite, masterwork. I'll take all that. Not missed any chat comments.
What's that?
What's what? That. It's a treasure chest.
Trivial matter.
with the Kariki Mother's Care. I can't currently use Kariki? Yeah. Frost Keen Kariki info. Frost weapon is sheathed in a terrible icy cold that deals an extra 1d6 of points of cold damage on a successful hit. Keen doubles the attack, the critical threat range, and +2 enchantment. That's a nice blade. I think I am going to definitely have to take the exotic weapons proficiency when I get to level 11. Unless the rogue talent gives me a ability to take Kariki, because it'll stack with my sneak stab, which is the main thing I want to focus on as a blade master. Knife master. I keep calling it blade master and it's actually a knife master. Third level, the knife master is so skilled at combats involving light blades, she gains a +1 dodge bonus to attacks made against her with light blades. This bonus increases by +1 for every. Yeah. But yeah, I really need to get into the Kariki because I'm pretty sure that's like the third major one that I've gone hold of. And I can't guarantee that there's any out there that aren't good in the other categories. You know, I took the punch dagger on a bit of a whim. But it is, you know, it's... I'm not even currently using a punch dagger because I've not been able to find a decent one. You know, I got a punch dagger +1 there that's just sat there doing nothing, but I've got the arcane protector which gives me AC bonus. An immunity to the nauseated condition. Which is slightly better, and the chaos shard which is a +2 bonus, and it also has fun things going on. +2 chance has a dagger, chance to confuse an enemy on a hit.
In due time.
Alright, so now I think I need to run down this hill and find out what's going on down here, because terrible things are likely to be occurring. Why am I moving slowly? Move quicker! Nope. Come on. You make them run sometimes and I don't know what triggers it. So many goblins died. Come on, move faster. Look at all the people that I saved. Charge into the fray.
I shall end this suffering.
Stay behind me.
Got a sneak attack round. You take down an non-spectrum and an angelical being. Nope. Nope. What do I have? Oh, that's pretty much it. Apart from muscular ones. Take on the angelic aspect. Bum bum. Haste. Seems like a great idea. Bum, bum, bum. Who is this? This is Lindsay? Yes, Lindsay. Ooh, displacement. Oh no, it's a touch thing. What's this one? Good Hope. Yeah, could have done with being a bit earlier. And you've also got haste. It's not particularly useful. Heroism, touch one, glitter dust, nope. Flare burst, hideous laughter, no. Just move forward a little, or a lot. Wow, full screen dash, whee! Oh, what? Primal Manticore. What is that thing? Damage reduction, cold iron or magic. Stop using your sword. This is why I brought in cold iron weapons. Right, let's go for the primeval Manticore. And try to annoy it a little. Yes, civilians, please run away. Yeah, it is useful that I picked it up. It was one of them where it's like, there's just too many things that are potentially happening.
Be generous to them, for I am not.
Going on that it's like, this is probably going to be a necessity at some point. Okay, can these things fly? And will that stop them from falling into a pit? Let's find out.
Yes.
Kara mess up the elbow. Nice, nice, nice. You could have killed it in a round. Run away, peasants! Run away! Okay, that's slightly better. Right, now if we use a Good Hope, how many people are going to get caught up in it? Can I do it
May
there?
I suggest another way to use this spell?
Go target somebody. There we go. Right, I would like you to change over to the Cold Iron Earthbreaker. And then I would like you to rage, and I would like you to murder the thing. There we go. Somebody just died. Oh, it was hammering. I wasn't sure who the Manticore just hit. Or was attempting to hit. Because if it was a 6 to hit Valerie, that would have been bad. Tristan, what do we have? We do not have much left. Let's boost it up a little bit more with the Archon's Aura. Bum. I think it's probably best if you stick to the spells. Probably best if you actually started hitting. Come on, finish off this owlbear. You can do it! No, you can't. You can't bloody well hit anything. 5 attacks. The highest one needed was an 11. Everything else was lower, and it missed on 4 attacks. Right. Are you? You're not singing. Begin singing. Let's go die. Not bad. Not bad at all. What is that thing? The owlbear is technically more difficult. Oh no, that's a 9. No, yeah, the owlbear is a 14. That's a 9. I think it's just that damage reduction that is really kicking it over the edge.
Let us strike as one.
Did he? Oh no, he's gone over there somewhere. Tristan
I'll
Manticore.
try to make this swift.
They're starting to come out of the hole, I think. I'm not sure.
I'll fight if I have to.
Alright, now finish off the... Oh, there we go. And move
A
up to the
calculated
Manticore.
risk.
I don't like the way that some of them peasants are frozen in fear. The meta is saying that they're going to break free
This is where I step in.
of... Well, they're going to bloom as well. Where it's like, aha, you thought you dealt with all the monsters. Well, here's 4 or 5 more from the civilians who didn't flee. Yeah, there we go. Nicely done.
Bring it. Do not falter.
It's so penalizing to move in Pathfinder. Or maybe we'll save them. There's a chance that we'll just save them. Maybe they're frozen there in fear. It's just, there's part of my head where it's all like, I'm expecting terrible things to occur. Which will basically mean, you know, they'll turn into
This will hurt.
more bad guys. Now we just need to get around this hole. But yeah, it's so penalizing to have to move in Pathfinder. It's like, aha, you get 5 attacks if you don't move. Oh, you had to move? Yeah, that's 1 attack. Didn't really want you to move. Oh, God. Goblin, Manticore. Goblin, ferocious out there. Goblin. No. You can't move any further. Please don't fall in the hole. No, Starfinder isn't so bad because the maximum number of attacks that you can ever do is 2. And it's the same penalty pretty much from level 1 to level 20. When it comes to Pathfinder, if you make a full round attack, you get your main hand, your offhand, and for every +5 base attack bonus that you get an additional attack with both hands, and haste gives you another attack. So I can make 5 attacks a round at the moment because I'm hasted. But if I have to move, then I cannot make a full round attack. Because I cannot make a full round attack, I get 1. You know, I appreciate that, you know, Starfinder is It's one of the things where it's like, I like it because it's slightly crunchier than D&D, because D&D I find it's very easy just to fall into combats where it's like, if I swing my sword at it, I miss, move on. Yep, Emery fell into the bleeding hole. Whereas I find because of... What is that? Don't know. Yeah, the thing is though, I've been in plenty of situations where the GM doesn't allow for getting creative, because it's like, it doesn't matter whether you run, jump off that log and do an overhead swing and try to grapple onto the back of the creature by digging in your blade to hold on. It's like, no, that's two actions. You can either attack it or you can grapple it. Okay, you try to grapple it, you fail, that's it, your turn is over, you've done nothing but basically move. There are ways in Starfinder and Pathfinder of being able to sort of like mechanically be able to say, no, I can do these things. You know, I can run up to the guy, I can stab him with this weapon, and as part of that weapon I automatically get to make a check to see if I can trip them up, grapple them, etc. And yeah, okay, it's not so great that you need to have the rules there to make sure that the GM allows it, but because it's baked into the rules, I find GMs to be a lot more accepting of the facts, and to a certain degree it also, you know, don't get me wrong, if you are having a lot of long combats, it can be especially difficult if you've got a lot of players all trying to do something a little bit weird on their turns.
They go down!
And then they, you know, because they're not paying attention to a million things that work, because they're not the ones GMing. It's like, oh, but, you know, such and such tried, you know, in this fight to do it pretty much the same thing, but they managed to get away with a DC 10 acrobatics check, whereas for mine it's a DC 15 athletics, and I don't even have athletics, and it's like, alright, let's put the combat on pause, and it's like, yeah, but he was basically trying to do this and this, which indicates that it's acrobatics rather than athletics, and they're using material around them to make it a 10. You've basically wanted to just run, jump, and do exactly the same thing with no tools around you. And it's over a longer distance, meaning it's an athletics. And it's difficult because you're not using anything to assist. So it's a DC 15. Oh, this is bullshit. I don't care if it's bullshit or not. I'm a GM. What I say goes. Nah. If it's in the rules, it's a lot easier for, you know, it's all like, I think my lack of experience in wider established gaming may inform my ideas about Pathfinder, Starfinder versus D&D. Yeah, I, I think to a certain degree, you know, if it wasn't for how crunchy it can feel at times, you'd quite like Pathfinder / Starfinder, because it's all like, oh yeah, rather than having to make shit up on the fly, it's just right there in front of you. You just have to know it. The thing is, though, you know, quick comparison. Where is it? Oh, that's a monster manual. Do I have the DMG down there? I do not have the DMG, but the monster manual and the DMG are roughly the same thickness, right? They're about as thick as each other. Just about. D&D is slightly thicker, but there's a couple of coverings in the middle. And that's just the player rules for Pathfinder 2nd edition. Because it's all written out there what you can, you can't do, and how it all interacts with each other, and yeah, it's a lot of rules to read and remember and the like, but at the same token, you know, it's there and nobody can get too uppity about it unless it comes down to translation. Which is, so like, you know, that's the other side of Pathfinder, Starfinder that I sometimes don't appreciate, is sort of like, I'll accept any ruling by a GM. Doesn't mean I have to like it. But I'll accept it. But there's so many more players out there where it's like they'll go to the wider audience. And they'll do it in D&D as well. I remember on Facebook seeing some guy in D&D and it's like, my GM made this ruling and I didn't like it, so I'm asking the wider audience. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's your game. Take it up with your GM that game. If they've made a ruling one way, then it works like that. It doesn't matter whether you like it or not. But the other thing, to a certain degree, I find, is because there's so much more to the system, it's easier to find parallels in Pathfinder and Starfinder than it is to be so like, okay, I want to do this weird and wonderful thing in D&D, and it's all like, well, I don't really have a rule for that anyway. Anyway, moving on. Creston breathes. He's heavily looking around at the bloody battlefield. Your Grace, how can this be? The people, the prisoners from the camp, they've exploded just like that. The Shaman was mumbling about a season of bloom. It seems the seeds that people swallowed turned into portals. If all the seeds have blossomed, Abadar protectors, the capital is full of infected, both from the streets and Kravkin's hospital. You must hurry to the capital. I will continue looking for the source of the seeds. The Shaman mentioned a place upstream, Labashtu's wound. It's the source of the seeds. Well, then I'm gathering my men and heading out there. I swear upon my life I will find this wound, Your Grace, and destroy the source of the disease. But Kravkin, gods be merciful, he has no one to protect him, and the citizens. Will the guard be enough to halt the attack of these horrid creatures? Creston falls silent for a moment, his brow troubled. No, I have to get upriver and make sure there are no new seeds. I must stop the curse at the source. It is for you to decide, Your Grace, where your help is needed more. Jod will defend his patients to the last. As for me, I'll do the same. Anything to put an end to this horror once and for all. No, the hospital is actually a prison. And it was just kind of there. It wasn't built, per se. But no, it was a prison. Then Jod needed a hospital, and most of the people in the prison weren't. They were vandals and graffiti artists, so it was like, yeah, everybody can go home. We're turning this place into a hospital. Apart from one guy, he got kept behind, and I don't know why. I really don't know what to do. Do you think Kravkin can hold until my arrival? If you leave for the capital now, yes. But if you head to Lamashtu's wound, Judd's not a warrior, Grace. He's a priest. He will shield his wards to the last, but he's likely to have gone to join his god if we don't reach him in time. Lamashtu's wound. This place must be crawling with monsters. Do you think you can do it? I don't know, Baron. I cannot promise anything. But it seems we do not seem to have a choice. What will become of the survivors in this camp? Most who survived the opening of the Bloom ran. I hope to find their way home, or manage to reach the main road and are found by patrols. Why don't you go to the capital? No, Your Grace. I must find the source of seeds, no matter the cost. This is my decision. And the last word on the matter. I beg your pardon? I mean, I'm all in favour of me being the one to go back to the capital, but that was not a very good argument in my opinion. What did you tell me about this guy again? Other than you just didn't like him? So now I've got one where it's basically send Creston back to deal with the things. But I don't trust him to be able to deal with it. But if I send him on to Lamashtu's wound, I don't think he'll be able to deal with that either. But then I go back to the capital and deal with things. Hello. You go away, you go away. Sorry, I'm kind of expecting a delivery. Yes, hello Moto. Motorola G5? 5G? I'm gonna put that on mute. There we go. Same as Spacing Way. Well, Spacing Way has got a motor. I mean, it's a reasonably good phone, and for the price, it's reasonably priced as well. It's not excessive. Although I've had it since it got released. It's one of the things it's all I could do with a new phone, because it's all if I want to install anything on it, I've got to remove something else. Yeah, it's really good for the price, and like I say, the price is not excessive. It's all I'm one of these where it's all like I could buy a whole computer for $1,000. It's not going to be a great computer, but it's a whole freaking computer. You look at some of the high-range Samsungs, some of the high-range Google phones and Apple devices, and it's like it's $1,000, and it's like it's a phone. I need it to ring people, to text people, to check my emails, and maybe to play the occasional game on it. Yeah, I mean, the number of times I think to a certain degree, if it was a case that I had to have the mobile phone and it had to be that expensive, I would be certainly looking at insuring it. The number of people that I hear about where it's like, oh, I got a new iPhone and I didn't insure it and now I've cracked the screen and it's starting to play up on me. So, well, why didn't you just bloody insure it? It's $1,000. that you've essentially just thrown onto the floor, stomped on, and oh dear, it's terrible. Anyway. I can never understand people who... I can kind of understand a little bit, but at the same token, it's all like... I'd rather, you know... They got a tablet around here somewhere that doesn't cost half as much as some of these phones. And it does, you know... There's a girl at work, she insists on having the new iPhone every now and again. I don't know if she still does, but it was all like... Oh, but, you know, you've got to understand that you spend all your evening on the computer and you spend $1,000 on that. I spend all evening on my phone, and it's like... Okay. So I spend $1,000 on it, and it's like, name one thing that your phone can do that mine can't, and mine was a quarter of the price. Yeah, but this is Apple, and it's a much slicker operating system, and it's all like, yes, it's Apple, but woo, 4 times the price. Anyway, alright, stop ranting about that, figure out what I'm doing with Crescent. I think I'm gonna go send him off to Lamash Wound. Not because I trust him to be able to do the job, and I don't like his attitude. I really don't like his attitude. Let you sit on the couch. No, my phone. My 250 quid phone can do everything that a iPhone can do. Maybe not as well. Maybe it could do with a little bit more space on there. But for the most part, it can do everything that an Apple phone can do. And yeah, my computer won't let me go sit on the couch, but it wouldn't cost me $1,000 to, you know, buy a TV, a Chromecast, some type of wireless joypad, and basically cast my computer downstairs to a TV that I can then use a joypad to work with. It's certainly within the realms of possible, and it wouldn't cost me $1,000 to do it. I mean, that's on top of the computer cost, but at the same token, you know, the amount of money that it's all like, why do I want to go sit on the couch? This chair, although it's not the greatest chair in the world, is actually probably more comfortable than my couch. And I live alone, so it's not about a question of being social or antisocial, whether I'm sat downstairs on the couch or sat up here on my computer. Anyway. I still don't like this guy's attitude. It's all like, this is my decision and the last word on the matter. I'm tempted to send him back to the capital because of his attitude. But I don't trust him to keep people safe. But I don't like the fact that he thinks that he can get away with this. I don't care what he's after. No, fuck it. Go back to the capital. I'm sorry, Your Grace. Immediately the situation clouded my judgment. I shall head to the capital at once. I've just got an achievement in the name of the law. Right. Now I'm going to go back to my capital. And we're going to have everybody gather up at the capital and deal with the problem. Wait a minute.
Something bothering you?
Positive energy. I mean, of course he got told. I did not like his attitude. Blah, blah, blah. So much junk lying around. I mean, I could, in theory, drop some of this stuff. How much do I need to bring it down by? I need to bring it down by £100. Sort by weight. See, I could just drop off this camping supplies and rations. Then I need to drop it down by another £20. Let's get rid of these crossbows. They're not magical, they're not great. So I'm in the light category, no penalty, I move quicker. Not sure what's up river, but we'll burn that bridge in a bit. Defend the capital. Travel. At full speed, everyone. Well, I might want to rest outside of the capital.
I tire.
Yeah, let's rest here. I don't usually like resting on the road when so close to the capital, but I think that we might get attacked as soon as we go into the
Hey,
capital.
Amiri, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking, if you tear off a halfling's legs, would she be a quarterling?
Wow. Rough family. Okay. Less than an hour. Let's go into Loachingdale. Oh, shush you. There's no point in turning up to a fight half dead and out of spells. You're just going to increase the body count by 6. The streets in the capital are scenes from some nightmare. Monsters are chasing civilians, panic and destruction. Terrible things. The young guard is holding a weapon with limp hands as blood streams down her bent and broken armor. Your Grace, at last. I'm not sure how much longer we would have made it without you. Is Creston here? Yes, I just saw him. He ran past with the group of reinforcements, cursing up hill and down dale. I'm not sure where he was headed, though. Let me help you. Thank you, Your Grace. Abadar willing will show these beasts what we're made of. Well, what are you doing here? I'm wounded. The captain ordered me to stand around here to help civilians flee and await your arrival. By Abadar, I'm so glad you finally made it. Who's attacking us? Monsters, Your Grace. Hydras, manticores, some sort of creature like bears with bird heads, Albert. How do these people not think of the BP? The build points. Again, going back to my previous argument, turning up half dead to a fight does not win the fight. It adds 6 bodies to the casualty list. End of. At first we thought it was an army, but there's no human among them. They don't seem to be led by anyone. They just keep coming and coming and coming, like an avalanche. Report. Despite the dire situation, we're holding on. There has been casualties, but we're evacuating as many civilians as we can to save locations. You made it just in time, Your Grace. You can still save your people and your capital. Oh, for this scene and not because of my delay. I mean... It's one of them, it's not like, we'll recover. We just need people to make sure that we do recover.
We will be victorious.
Dire Venom Wolf. Nice. Civilians, guard. Where'd Creston get to? That's the question I've got. Oh dear God, they're multiplying.
You can't stop me.
And I'm losing control.
This
Get in there
should
and
do
start
it.
stabbing.
Serves you right.
Any chance of a dash? Nope. Right. Valerie, you have them just where you want them.
Onwards!
Doop doop doo doop ba doo doo. Trust
So it's
and
come to
ferocious
this.
monsters. It's kind of in the way. Talia are the
Consider me
same.
provoked.
A calculated risk.
There we go.
This will hurt.
And forward a little.
You deserved it.
Dire venom wolves. So many bad guys. Cut in a little close there, haven't I? We've got 2 on the
Stay
dog.
behind me!
Come on, stab it. There we go.
Repent!
This is for you.
Let's try this way.
Skin, grab, grab. Don't bother with anything else. It would be slightly interesting to see if there was sort of like
Face me if you dare.
whatchamacallit. Because not all my party are in my group at the moment. It would be interesting to see the rest of the
This should do it.
potential party members to actually be out in this battle and taking the fight to the bad guys. What is an elbow? It's a magical 14, and it's not even ferocious. Can we? Yeah, go on. Charge that one. Nice. Right. Citizens. Yellow Diomticore. I'm pretty sure they're just making these things up. What is that thing? Yellow Dio Duo Manticore. It's just got all the rubbish on there. Alrighty. Okay, just
I'll fight if I
let's
have to.
start off with an essence. Tristan,
You forced my
finish that
hand.
one. Oh god, we're not going to finish that one anytime soon.
Let us strike as one!
A
Murder it.
calculated risk.
Nice. It's a lot of attacks, that thing. Luckily, it's not that much damage. Alright, I think it might be time to sing a song. Move forward a bit. Let's bring in some rage. Should have really switched back to your other weapon, but we'll do that next round. can we throw you into a pit for the moment? No, we can't. Right. Let's do this the hard way.
I'll try to make this swift.
Valerie, but no, that thing. There we go. Where are we at with these things? See, that one's nearly dead, but it's too much of a movement to get there.
This will hurt.
There we go. Turn around and stab that gang? Yeah, there we go. Ooh, so close.
Oh,
How am I doing? I'm not looking so great, but
Any last wishes?
I'll survive. I always survive. Oh wait, no, that's Henry's. Albert, there we go. Bum.
You can't stop me.
I've got a couple of AOs, but I've not really
So
got
it's come to this.
much. At the moment, these things are difficult, but they're not
Do not falter.
too difficult that I'm concerned about dropping AOs. Tristan's got his controlled fireball. And he's also got flame strike. But at the same token, it's like I'm the only one who's really injured. And as part of that being really injured,
This is where
it's
I
like I'm still on my feet. And this is the last thing left to go. And it's over. So, skin everything, loot everything.
follow my lead.
Bum. Right. We've bisected. We should be coming up to bisecting the town. Okay, here we go. God, how many? 3? 4? I didn't realise it was me. I probably shouldn't have charged in there. I thought it was Valerie. So yes, Valerie, charge ahead. Grab their attention by stabbing them. The Hydra has regen. Oh, fast healing. Okay. Tabir, go for the ferocious Hydra. Let's start and finish that one first. Shouldn't take too long. Who's this? This is Valerie. Okay, you charge up and stab the ferocious Alba. There we go. Right. Continue singing. Who told you to stop? The thing is, there's also a lot of civilians mucking around in this place, so I don't accidentally want to get one of them as well. 1 second. Be right back, just 1 moment. And I'm back. Sorry about that. In other news, I tried to kick off Dragonborn DLC narrative with my now level 6 character yesterday, but nothing seemed to work. Every time I go to sleep, I wake up slaving away. One more of the monuments. So now I've got the dosh. I've decided I'm getting the heck off that island. Lol. Oh, right. Yes, okay. Now I'm finally with you. Question is, do I bring my new companion with me? I think I might leave him to chill on Saltham and see who else I meet on the road. I mean, yeah. Sorry, it took me a little while to figure out where you were coming from there, because I have no idea about Skyrim a lot of the time. I think you should drag them around with you. Take them on the world tour. Show them sights they've never seen before. Or at least until they don't die in that, do they?
Let's try
They
this
just
way.
get knocked out. This is a terrible idea. We split up. Lot layers, ashfall. What island are you on? Yeah, Solstice. Okay, now I'm sorry. I'm slowly trying to remember my geography of the Elder Scrolls. Because I'm pretty sure you go to Solstheim at the one of the DLCs for Morrowind. But I thought it was snow, not ash. But then again, I've not been back there since I crashed the rock into Morrowind and really made a mess of the place. I think that's what happened. One of my problems with the Elder Scrolls games is it's a lot like this. It's all like, as I've been mentioning in plenty of my streams, it's all like the only way that I'm really getting through a lot of this campaign is because I'm doing it on a schedule and I'm doing it
This should do
consistently. And you know, I'm 80 hours deep. I never get 80 hours deep onto a video game. I usually drift off and play something else by this point.
Consider me provoked.
And one of the problems with the it's mostly frozen in Morrowind, but my mount constant eruptions mean it's now mostly ash, with the odd bit of ice. Okay, fair enough. On Solstheim, this is. Because I don't think you can go back. Because you've got... what happened at the end of Morrowind? Because there was the... There was ash tribes in Morrowind. But I thought most of that was being contained by the gate. You throw a vampire into a volcano. Lol.
Repent.
Bring it!
But yeah, it's one of them where it's like the only bits about
Calm down.
Morrowind,
Not
Oblivion,
dead
and
yet.
Skyrim that I
Calculated
kind of
risk.
remember is what extra bits of lore are written into it for the next game in the edition.
This is for you.
In the series, sorry. And then, you know, so like, what I hear
Stay
from
behind
rumors
me.
about other people playing it and,
Any last wishes?
excuse me, what I've seen, you know, so like in trailers and the general assumption of things, is another thing, because, you know, it's like, with
You
Oblivion,
forced my hand.
you kind of assume Martin takes care of the problem
I'll
somewhere
try to
along the
make
line.
this swift. Tear them apart!
Yeah, I mean, Elder Scrolls lore tends to have epic events that happen in the between years rather than only when you're about, and it's like, that's all fine. The thing is, I think because it's a whole world, and there you died. It's been a while since I died, to be fair. Because it's such a big world, and because there's so many different things going on here, there, and everywhere.
Let us strike as one.
You know, there's so much lore to be gained that it's nigh on impossible to know it all.
This is where I step in.
You know, which is kind of true of any good system. But at the same token,
So it's come to
unless
this.
you've religiously played all of the video games for God knows how many hours it takes, you tend to be missing out a bit on some of the lore from somewhere along the line. Why was that so easy to hit Valerie?
You can't stop me.
That's slightly concerning, but nearly got rid of all the elbows. I don't think that one has much of a
Serves
chance
you
of getting to me.
This won't kill me.
Yeah, it's worse than that. There's only a few mild references in other games usually. If you want to know the lore, you've got to read the books in the game. Yeah, that's the thing. I tend to read a lot of the books in the games. Because I do find that it's a great way of getting to know more lore in the game.
Consider me provoked.
But at the same token, it's one of them where you really do have to sit down and go through all of the lore, and it's a little bit annoying that it's not in your face a little bit more, because it's so easy to miss a book somewhere along the line.
I'll survive.
And
I always
when you've missed a
survive.
book, it's all like, oh, I totally didn't realize that that had happened, or that there was a bit of a turnaround in,
How may I help?
you know, one of the books. And you know, it's just one of them. I feel that they could have done with. They could have done better at it, at how the lore is distributed. But at the same token, it kind of makes sense because there's no sense a little bit about having everything spelled out for everybody, because a lot of people aren't interested in it. And you might as well just have it summarized in books where if you want to read about it, you can do. Otherwise, you don't have to. Did we miss any of the lit? Nope. All the guards died. Right, I have split the place in two. I'm going to go this way first. Let's have a bit of a quick save.
You see that?
Magical sickle just lying around there in the world. Charge. We got 2 owl bears. Oh no, 2 quick bears.
This is for you!
I have a bad feeling that a quick bear is just a bear that is quick.
Repent!
But yeah, no, I think I'm being a little bit critical of the Elder Scrolls now because it's all like, one of the things is it's all, I like to know a lot about a lot of different system settings and places. You know, one of the things I tend to know just about everything that's going on in Starfinder a little bit because I read most of the books that have come out
Do not falter!
for it, including
Onwards!
more adventure paths than I've actually played. I've
This will hurt.
not completely stopped reading them. I skim read them a little bit, but I've not really kept up on that entirely. And one of the things about Pathfinder is, you know, there's over 160 AP books out. And they're slightly bigger in Pathfinder than they are in Starfinder, but it's a very easy total. That's 1,600 pages of adventures. Because there's 100 pages per book. Oh, these are all quick. This is a quick Hydra, which has lots of attacks. Okay, let's murder these things quickly. Black Dweemeralba. Are they exploded? Is that a civilian? I don't know. Concealment. I hate concealment. That's why I hate
Let's
concealment.
try this way.
There we go. They died.
This should do it.
Quick bear. So yeah, if you wanted to know everything there is to
You
know about
deserved it.
Pathfinder or Starfinder, there is a hell of a lot of reading that you'd have to do. And I'll admit, there's so much about Pathfinder and Starfinder that I've probably forgotten. I remember the gist of it, and if you were to bring it up in conversation, I might be able to get away with it passively. But there's also, you know, one of the things that I've read about in Pathfinder is they've got sort of like 5 or 6 pages on dragons, just lore about dragons, and it's like I remember brief bits of it. There's 2 gods or 2 powers that created dragons.
I'll try to make this swift.
One of them created Tiamat. One of them created.
Any last wishes?
I want to say Bahamut, but that sounds like the demon. Or am I thinking of something else? There's a platinum dragon. Anyway, these 2 entities created these 2 dragons, and they gave birth to all other dragons. But there's a lot of really good detailed lore as to why the metallic and the chromatic dragons don't get along. Which I feel makes a little bit more sense than, you know, in D&D terms. The lore on dragons is largely forgotten, as far as I'm aware.
Stay behind me!
And So a lot of people don't see why there's such a divide. And such a strict divide between the chromatic and the metallic dragons. And, you know, yes, to a certain degree, I
So
kind
it's
of
come
also
to
agree
this.
with the fact that some of them say, you know, I refuse to have my dragons color-coded for your convenience. Because it's far too easy to get meta with it. It's not like, oh, they're a chromatic dragon, they must be an ice dragon. And it's all like, You see, one of the things about dragons is it's not strictly... They tend to be... The metallic ones tend to be good. But I like the way that Pathfinder describes it. It's all like, they're good.
Let us strike as
It's
one.
just their concerns tend to be on a scale that
I'll
is
fight if I have
incomprehensible
to.
to mortal men. Which can essentially mean that they do some perceivably evil things, even if they are a good dragon. Not because they're evil, but because you don't
This is
understand
where
why
I
they
step
do.
Mm.
And to a certain degree, you know, it's like they see humans as a lesser species. They see them to be handled more like pets or livestock than they do of that of
Do
an
not
equal.
falter.
So to the same token, it's all you know. If you look at livestock, it's all like, well, what stops a dragon from just eating somebody because they're hungry? It's not an evil act per se, because there is a lot of people in the world that are meat eaters. We do the same thing with cows, with sheep, with pigs, and unless they change colour depending on if they got a bad for chromatic, to coloured. It's chromatic to metallic. It's just actually more decrepit and more shiny scales represent its alignment. Quite like that idea. Oh, you were coming up with a slightly different concept. So it's like they've got shiny scales. Then they're more. It more represents one alignment over decrepit, flaking, dull scales, which would depict another alignment. Or were you just correcting yourself? I don't know anymore. Okay, let's...
In due time.
Once
Kristen,
a girl told me
Burner,
my eyes light up her world. I said that the blessing of Sarenrae will light up her soul. She seemed disappointed.
But yeah, with the dragons, their motives are
That is not far.
unfathomable. So you can have a metallic dragon come in and just breathe fire everybody, and they're perceived as metallic, chromatic, but they're actually shiny, dull versions of the same coloration. Are you talking about they actually are, or this is what you're thinking along the lines of? I'm confused. I don't know whether you're theory crafting here or talking about what's generally considered law. Marauders. Hello, Marauders. While the first battle rages, these people aren't fighting or fleeing. Rather, they're entering one of the ruined buildings and seeming to fill their sacks with whatever goods have been left behind. Noticing you, one of the Marauders turns pale and drops his bag. Gah, damn. You have a choice. Either I execute you here and now, or you voluntarily submit yourselves to the captain of the guard and follow his every command. Looking back and forth between them, the pale-faced Marauders eventually nod, drop their bags, and make their way to the captain of the guard, under your watchful eye. Boom. Recruits. That's how you do it. Right, let's just quickly loot these houses and move on. Fairy crafting. Yeah, as you mentioned, one of the people who doesn't like saying posting alignment too clearly on the deluxe shot. Yeah, let's stop playing for a moment while I sort of like talk to you the theory crafting here. Let's actually bring up my Twitch channel so I'm not looking over here. I can actually look at the camera while I talk. My caps lock is on. Twitch.tv me. Yeah, I mean, it's one of them things where it's like I can kind of understand the whole signposting and not wanting to do it, but at the same token, you don't have to change the alignment just because you don't want to signpost it. You can have, you know, the metallic dragon who is coming in, wiping out a town or a city or, you know, a populace somewhere, hoarding money and gold and the rest of it, because they know in the long run that is just going to be better for you. It's a more merciful way of dying in an instant than this village getting ransacked by orcs, and you know, they're being taken as slaves, battered, beaten, and all manner of unspeakable things happen to them. Whereas if the dragon kills a few select places, that can shift the orc horde to solve. There's no point in raiding over here. There's no point in raiding over here. There's no point in raiding over here. I'm going to raid in that direction and basically turn the orc horde into a weapon to be aimed by taking out a few select places. Their overall human actions seem to be evil. They're going to these villages and just wiping everybody out and taking what precious resources there are so that the orcs don't come this way. And by introducing that twist of logic in, so like they've got actions that you mere mortals cannot comprehend, I think does a lot better for the narrative than just sort of like, oh, they're a metallic dragon, they must be the good guys, and you put them in charge of an entire town and there's a secret council and the rest of it. Yeah, that's all fine and well, but it's a bit cliche. I've seen it happen so many times, and I'm looking at myself and I'm looking at my stream and I'm behind where I am, so I'm sort of like doing all these actions, and then a moment later I'm doing all these actions. So it's really confusing me. So I'm actually now looking at OBS, so that when I do that, I can actually see I'm doing that, rather than 5 minutes later I'm doing that. And on the same token, you can take a chromatic dragon that is weakened for some reason, who basically will ingratiate themselves into society to build their way up to a position, and they know that their best way of expanding their horde is through, you know, controlling the Thieves Guild, controlling the council, and, you know, boosting the economy. Because if the economy is boosted, then more money will flow into the city, which means more money into their coffers. So they can be an evil dragon with evil intent, because they don't care about the people. They just care enough about them to keep the economy stimulated so that their coffers grow bigger. And then you can twist it. And at those points, it's all like the dragon can show their true colours and become the evil person, or become the good guy, or you don't have to have that play out. It depends on what the players want to do, whether they choose to follow up on that or not. And also, well, yeah, that's the thing. It's all like the bronze dragon flies overhead, and the player's looking, oh, look, it's a bronze dragon. Then it comes and swoops in and starts burning the place. It should make the players question why it's doing it. But if you basically turn it, if you state outright that dragons are not color coded for your convenience, then the players don't know why it's happening. If you say, I'm not color coordinating for your convenience, chromatic dragons can be good, metallic dragons can be evil, end of story, then all you've done is basically dumbed dragons down to any kind of monster. They're a monster for the sake of being a monster. Or they might be a monster that is an ally because for the sake of an ally. By saying that you play the dragons are straight, it's all like the chromatic ones are inherently evil and the metallic ones are inherently good, does not mean that they have to take purely good and evil actions. You can then have, it's okay, it's a bronze dragon flowing overhead, and then you come in and scorch the area around the players and have, dragonlings come in and start tearing up the place, and it's all like, then the players should be asking themselves, why has this happened? And what is the dragon's intent? Rather than just going, oh, it's just another monster that we're going to fight, because they're not color coordinated for our convenience. I can appreciate why people don't want them color coordinated, but I think having them color coordinated, but using them in weird and wonderful ways, because as you say, it is the alien perspective of a timeless perspective that mere mortals can't comprehend. I just feel that works better for a narrative than just they're dragons and you can't tell just by looking at them which ones are good and evil. Because then the characters will also, the players will also expect that it's all like, well, if we can't tell, if the dragon comes up to us and starts talking to us, we're going to assume that it's a good guy. Unless it's all like, it comes up talking to us and it's all like, give me one reason why I shouldn't eat you. And it's like, well, that seems kind of evil, so rather than you eating me, I'm just going to shoot you in the face with an arrow. If you say that it's, metallic dragons are inherently good, and a metallic dragon comes up and says, give me one reason as not to eat you, then the players are so like, wait, I thought you were the good guy. And it's like, I am the good guy. I'm just hungry right now. And you are little more than livestock. But that makes you evil. And it's like, no, that makes you think that I'm evil. But on the grand scheme of things, I'm a good guy. And I know that I'm a good guy because I fight for the greater good. It's just right now I'm hungry, so you're a snack. I think that would do a lot better for narratives in some cases than just having a rule where it's like they're not color coordinated for your convenience. Because then the players are just suspicious of all dragons and or not suspicious of all dragons. Anyway, back to the game. And this is the thing, it's like with Pathfinder, this entire section that I read on dragons and that lot, it gave me a lot of inspiration as to how to use dragons in weird and wonderful ways. Verdel. The crushing weight of the monster carcass lies on a guard, unconscious and bleeding, but still alive. Your Grace, he's wounded. Help me get him out of here before he loses too much blood. Why is it chaotic good to help the blacksmith? Neutral good to tend to the guard's wounds. He's a metallic blacksmith. Help the blacksmith. Gathering all your strength, you and the blacksmith managed to lift the monster's bulk off the ground and drag the guard out from underneath him. Phew. Lad had been within a hair's breadth of dying. He makes it to the end of the battle. He should call this his second birthday. Tend to his wounds. The guard's wounds rapidly close. The blacksmith nods in gratitude. What happened? Well, I was sitting in my smithy. I heard some shouting in the street, so I grabbed my maul and headed out. Saw this ugly mug throw that poor guard to the ground and get a huge bite at him, so I gave it a good whack to the head. Then another, and so on until it stopped moving. Wasn't strong enough to pull the lad free from under its fat belly, though. Good thing you showed up. It's unfortunate. It's fortunate we're by the smithy. I have an urgent purchase to make. What? You've killed this beast on your own. I'm impressed. I can fight all right. Just don't like to. I have to go. Thanks for the help. I'll get him safe, somewhere safe. This is a story about how the smithy got turned upside down. That is a terrible, terrible pun. And you should be ashamed of yourself for that one.
Can you make an epic pose?
Got a mirror image on a purple Dwemer Alba. No, I don't like charging in right now. I'm nearly dead. I can't. Yeah, there's so many people around that I can't really do this effectively. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and tell you how I used my mace on our purple elf there. It was just a plain out there, but I'll give you that one. I mean, it's still terrible, and you should be ashamed of your puns right now. But I'll give you that. And I really need to switch back to her sword. It's a hell of a to hit. Red Dwemer Wyvern. And a couple of owlbears. Okay, this is Lindsay. Take out the purple owlbear. Still got more mirror images. Right, now I'm gonna move in and
This
stop
will
it.
hurt.
Ta-da! They weren't expecting that one. We are not going to have any guard left by the end of this. Bum, bum, bum. Can I get them two into a pit? Man, he did not sound like he had a pleasant death. I mean, there's pleasant ways of dying. Did you find out what when bit of the creatures are? Are they like a level above die? I don't know. I've not. It's not listed here as a sort of like an effect or any details of this. It could be sort of like the level above dire, but why go with the red Dwemer Wyvern when you could have just gone with a actual bigger dragon? I suppose to a certain degree it's trying to fit the narrative. Right, let us have two. Where's my blesses? Blessing of no. Wait. Duration equal to the number of dice. Oh. I mean, that'd be better if it was a area of effect. I really need to go through this guy's slots and figure out what's going on sometime. Armory. Take out this one. I would have preferred focusing on the owlbear.
Onwards!
But this thing looks dangerous and it's in the middle of everywhere. Itchy shoulder. I'm actually curious now if that's official. If you press F11 it brings up some diagnostic stuff. Didn't mean to press F11, I meant to press something else. Oh,
I always
Anne-Marie just got
survive.
murdered.
Let's try this way. This should do it.
Yeah, that guy just got murdered. Right. Terrible things are happening.
Consider
Purple Dwemer Alba. Take out more mirror images. Move them and attack. Hopefully, you'll annoy it when it can attack me. Because I might have to run away if that happens.
you deserved it.
Great, I think it's out of mirror images now. I'm not seeing anything.
I can't keep this up much
I need
longer.
11 to hit Valerie.
A calculated risk. Ha!
Come on, you really need to start hitting. Fall in the pit, fall in the pit. There we go. He fell in the pit.
This is for you.
Right, let's have a move up a little bit and burst some healing out. Right, you got 21 hit points. This is a terrible idea. Let's stand up and hit that thing.
them apart!
He was really supposed to hit that thing. Shaman hitting the big purple dwarm. Alba. Yes, keep. No,
I
don't
require
crit.
healing.
Mess
This
it up.
will hurt.
There we go.
Let's try this way.
I'll fight if I have to.
He's still trying to get out of the pit. Right, let's have some more healing. Not bad at all.
They
go down!
See, this is the thing I do like about Pathfinder, is compared to D&D, there is actually viable ways of keeping people up and in fights as part of the healing. It's just so many times that I find in D&D that it's all like, oh, I'm a tank and I've been KO'd and that's it. And I'm basically just going to get yo-yoed for the rest of the game. Because there's no way to heal up enough to even begin to consider counteracting the amount of healing, the amount of damage that some of the monsters can do. And you know, I've yet to. I think the same applies in Starfinder. It's like it is possible to keep people in the fight through healing. Are you gonna get out of the pit? I think someone might have made it out of the pit. I'm not sure. You don't have any healing. Alright. You're out of that healing. Let's take and burn the blindness. You know, and with the channel divinity heals that you get, and you get a fair number of them in Pathfinder, it's, you know, possible to keep the whole group in the fight rather than just one person. Not the Baron.
You can't stop me.
Kill a massive thing up before the other thing is out. I should have used one of them turns where I wasn't really doing
me.
to switch out Valor's weapons.
Any last wishes?
I like Red
This
Citizen.
should
They've
do
got a
it.
lot of positive attitude. It's like, I don't care that I'm only a citizen. I am going to try to attack them. So switch over to that and then move forward. It's essentially a round over and done with, but slightly better than trying to use that other thing.
This is where I step in.
What are you? Come on, citizens. Boom. Yeah, 3 points of damage. You go. You murder that thing. Skin everything. Loot, 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 loot. Loot, loot. Can I talk to the citizens? Don't leave me. Oh, Elena. Elena, the local tavern keeper, runs up to you, her face pale, and she's shaking with her face. Your Grace, well, what's happening? There are monsters. Estral, save our souls. It's the end. It's a town lost. Calm down. Everything is under control. It is not under control. Just follow those guards there, and they'll take you to safety. I mean, it's the only lawful good one I've got, but I don't agree on lying to them, saying everything is under control. Elena takes a deep breath and exhales loudly a few times before looking back at you, devotion in her eyes. Thank you, my Baron. I know you'll protect us. She gives a quick bow before hastily walking towards the guards. We lied to her. We lied to her so hard. Alright, Tristan. interesting. Let's. Unless so. I mean, the ability to burn selected spells in favor of heals is a great thing. Although it's one of them that's mitigated in D&D because you just have to prepare. You don't have to name. You're prepared in D&D. More citizens. Nobody wants to talk to me. Looking at the Hydra. Venom Hydra. Terrible things are about to occur. I don't want to run up to it. Delay until after Valor. I'm sleepy today. It's Valerie charge up. Hit that thing. There we go. Right, now
calculated
I'm gonna creep
risk.
up and stab it.
Yeah.
Nice. We might
Serves
actually
you
be able to
right.
kill this one. Maybe. Oh. Shit. Terrible things. And we're back. Dropped out for a bit though. Any guards left? I mean, there are some guards left. There's a couple over there, but we just saved a bunch of civilians. I don't know how much of that you saw. And then lied to the civilians and basically going, everything's
You
under
forced my
control.
hand.
And that was a lawful good option. It's like, everything is not under control. I also ranted on a little bit about how I prefer healing in Pathfinder because it's actually possible to keep people in the fight. Amory got knocked out completely. Valerie got down to like negative hit points, but she's got a feat that allows her to stay on her feet. And thanks to the fact that Tristan is a reasonable healer, and is that this versus Starfinder? No, this is Pathfinder Starfinder versus D&D. I feel, and I've felt this way ever since I started playing D&D. It's like you cannot do enough healing in D&D to keep people in the fight in any meaningful way. You know, you can keep them alive,
This will hurt.
but you cannot keep them in the fight and active. It'll eventually get to the point that they're getting knocked out every round, you're picking them up every round, and never the twain shall meet. And I am so glad that I am passing these fortitude saving throws, but I need to back
I'll
up
try to make
because
this swift.
I'm in a lot of pain and I'm on my last life. So, Octavia can? No, that's not a person, is it? I don't think it's worth throwing that one in a pit. Might be worth throwing out Octavia in a pit for that mess! Amory. So this is the other thing, it's like, well, you mentioned about Dwemer manticores being I guess it depends on what kind of healer you have. My Wednesday game, I have to make a concerted effort if I want to keep one out of the fight. Plus, a couple of other players have some very minor healing. Yeah, I think to a certain degree, you're... With you being a homebrew D&D, I don't think you're making combat as deadly as D&D intends. Which isn't a bad thing. But we've got a We had a sorcerer who was that one that can cast healing spells. Can't remember what they're called. We had a life cleric. We had a paladin. We had a bard with the healing spells that they've got open to them. There was one character who could not heal. And that was not enough to keep people up and in the fight. And I have seen it so many times where it's like, if you go down in D&D, you're just down. And I've played plenty of life clerics, you know, and they get the biggest bonuses to healing spells. And it'd be so like, okay, I cast healing, I kill wounds on that guy. My highest spell level. Okay, that's, you know, 24 points of healing. Okay, now for the monster's turn, and that's a hit for 13 points of damage, and that's a hit for another 17 points of damage. That's 30 points of damage. Totally negating the 24 that I just did. And that is just consistent with every game of D&D that I've been in.
Let us strike as one.
Have you read the works of Jack Vance? I have not heard of Jack Vance, never mind read his works. I am curious. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I don't recognize your username. Sorry, I'm just actually making a note about Jack Vance because I'm now kind of curious as to who Jack Vance is. Usually I run this will be fun encounter rather than how much will it push them. Plus I get the rerolls. That being said, I usually run towards hard, deadly edge of encounters. Yeah, but the thing is, though, you're tailoring them to be a fun encounter rather than how much to push. And this is one of the things that you really do need to do as a GM when you're homebrewing, is find out where your group's sweet spot is. And this is one of the things that I don't like about some GMs, is they never tweak things in terms of, you know, if you've got a party with absolutely no healers and no ability to restore stat point damage, you can run encounters that push and test the players without making it deadly. On the flip side, if they've got plenty of healing, you can do the same, where it pushes the characters without making it deadly. And I don't mean deadly in terms of how the book defines deadly. I mean deadly as in somebody's going to make a saving throw. You can balance it, you can tweak it, and you can make it work. I find a lot of the time,
this way.
I was going to back up because I am in serious pain. I was not going to stab that thing. That just doing it by the book as per written, it can be ridiculously hard, and a lot of players and a lot of GMs will think that that's how it's supposed to be played. And I don't appreciate it. Whereas in Starfinder and Pathfinder, I found, you know, like when you were playing Alpha and Starfinder, it's like you had a group absolutely no healers. And yes, there was fights where people went down, and yes, there was fights where there was times where I pushed you to the edge of your resources, and you were double checking your notes as to who you could and couldn't heal and who you could and couldn't boost up. But you found a way of doing it. I could have, I did consider it. It's all like, if these guys do not figure out what they're going to be doing for healing, I could have tweaked something as to make it slightly easier so you didn't need a healer. And you could get
This
by
should do
on
it.
your... And I've just charged him in again. And I really, really do need to heal him. That's what I need to do. I need to heal my guy. But yeah, JVGS. I will check out that name in a bit after my stream and see what they're about. But yeah, just so very easy to mess up players and just like kill them outright. And I could have tweaked Starfinder. If it had come to it, I would have tweaked Starfinder. Yeah, no, you can still get bad GMs and uncooperative and unfriendly GMs in Pathfinder Starfinder. It's just a lot easier to call them out and a lot easier to be... It's a lot easier to notice them, because one of the things about D&D is you can be a terrible GM and do everything by the book. Yeah. And I've seen it so much in D&D where it's like just nigh on impossible encounters, and it's like, what are we supposed to be doing here? And it's like, oh, this is, to really test you. And it's like, well, it's testing my patience because it's round 6 and I've yet to do a thing because I'm the tank and I got knocked out in the first round. So basically everybody's just dancing around using as much healing as they can to keep me alive. But at the same token, they have to be keeping up the damage because I'm not doing anything. Whereas I find with... What? Too soon? I'm not sure what you mean by too soon. The captain removes his helmet and wipes sweat from his brow. Praise be, and praise all the good gods. I'm not sure we could have held out much longer without you. What have you learned about our attackers? Very little. Some of the monsters erupted from the patients in Kravken's hospital, while others seem to come straight out of the woods. There are no people among them. They don't seem to have a commander. They fight more like raging beasts than an army. That's all we know right now. How about the casualties amongst the guard and civilians? Substantial, Your Grace. If you'd arrived much later, I doubt the capital would... I've no doubt the capital would have been lost. Lawful chaotic. Have you seen Creston? Yes, I saw him fighting his way to the towards the town centre not long ago. Okay. Fine work. You fight heroically. Thank you, Your Grace. Stay vigilant. The fight is far from over. Yes, Your Grace. A thunderous roar, rumble sounds from not far off. Something humongous is approaching, crushing buildings along its path. Oh, that's a big album. Yep, the capital is lost. We are forming an evacuation retreat. Everybody is leaving. It's time to go, people. Every man for themselves. Bye. Yeah, I don't think. Okay, let everybody else move forward. Okay,
So
we're
on,
getting
flower,
into this.
guide my hand.
Righty out, rage, dash, run in there and murder. Nice, not too difficult to hit. Although, 451 hit points. No, you can't dash in, so just get in there. I mean, this is the thing, is that I don't feel this is unwinnable. You know, Tristan's still got 9 channel positive healings, and he was doing 40 hit points of restoration per person. What I am going to do is I'm just going to buff up Chiron a little bit. That's the other thing, you get buffs in Pathfinder. I don't... You get a few in D&D. But nothing as powerful as I feel that you get in Pathfinder. The reference to the tank-related events in a game of yours... Yeah, no, the paladin died, and I totally appreciate why he died. But again, that was one where it was sort of like no hint was given in the slightest that was about to come up, and it was hinted at by the GM a little bit.
Do not falter.
Alright, Tristan, let's break out some of these. What have we got? Angelic aspect. Let's move you forward a bit. There we go. Get in there and stab away. Do we have... No, we got foxes coming. You don't have Cat's Grace? No, you don't. Okay, great stuff. What do you have? You've got your haste again. Okay, that's great. Tristan, you're in the perfect position. Buff everything. Lindsay, you've got Cat's Grace, but Chiron is now so far away. Sing us a song and then move forward to Chiron.
Any last wishes?
I want to be able to... I want to move. I feel like I'm giving the farm away here. Level of hinting is more appropriate. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I prefer... See, this is the way I tend to run it is I will just, say, peeking behind the screen here. This is what it is. Rather than letting the players second guess. If the player's trying to open a lock and it is just they can't get past it because of a narrative reason, rather than spending forever trying to figure out how to bypass this lock through the means that they have available, I will just turn around and be blunt and be so like, no, you've spent enough time examining this and messing around with it. You are going to need the key for this lock. I think it's because I come from the other side as a player. I'm in it for the mystery. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being in for the mystery, and there's a... You know, I try not to give everything away to the players, but at the same token, I can appreciate, you know, it's finding that fine line between giving everything away to the players and the players not getting frustrated. Because it is very easy to not give things away, to make things seem reasonable, on paper, but just annoys the players.
A calculated risk.
I remember years ago now reading about this GM who came up with this clever idea, and they put this locked door inside of a dungeon and just let their players have at it. They couldn't pick the lock, they couldn't break it down, it was locked. They tried so many spells, so many abilities just to get through this, and by the end of it, they were fed up, they were frustrated, and they were very tempted to quit the game. And the GM goes, whoa, calm down, calm down. Has anybody tried knocking at the door? That was it. The solution to this thing was to knock at the door. And
Tear them apart!
yes, this is an extreme. This is a ridiculous situation, and that owlbear was not actually that difficult. You know, it's... and it had braces of +5 armor on it. Nice. I'm pretty sure Tristan... He's only got a +4 at the moment. You can have some +5s. Where are they? I've sorted by weight. So there they are. Ta-da! +5s. And you are on +4. Okay, great stuff. I mean, some people could start taking off armor at this rate. Well, maybe not. Yeah, probably. I also have this belt. That's physical perfection, which is strength, dex, and constitution, but they're sort by type. There's this, which is physical form, which is dex and constitution at a +4. Which makes slightly more sense to me. You've got physical might. You've got physical might. I feel that you will be better off with
Don't give that to me.
that. Yeah, no, the thing is, it is all like the narrative side of it, but at the same token, it's all like, what's the difference between narrative and giving, you know, you can have the mystery and you can basically keep the players guessing about the mystery of the game and just keep spoon feeding at them until the things start slotting into place. Unless you have a time frame that you want to meet, but you don't have to have a time frame. The players can be very investigative and so like getting things piecemeal at a certain rate, or they can be ignoring it completely. If they're ignoring it completely, maybe the players just aren't interested in the narrative. But at the same token, there can be a bit of a crossover between the narrative and the puzzles and the blockages. And if you're not careful, you end up with... So, like, no, narratively, I'm not going to tell you what's going on. Narratively, I'm not going to tell you who you need to talk to get to the next plot point. But at the same token, when the players have gone around the town and talked to every NPC that they can think of off the top of their head... But what they actually need to go do is go to the local library that you've never actually mentioned before and do some research out of books to move forward the narrative. That can be, just as frustrating. It wasn't really a puzzle. It's a blockage. But it's also part of the narrative. It's a tricky thing to balance, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I am a perfect... example of how to do these things. Yeah, why did I just... Yeah, you take that one, because that is a might +4. And that's only a +2. Okay, and that's a +2, which... Are you wearing about? Are you wearing about? You wearing about? You can wear about. What colour is that? Oh, incredible dexterity. Okay. I suppose I could actually give you this rank. Because it doesn't matter who casts it. You don't have to be the cleric. What's some horrible storytelling GMing? The whole library situation. Did I miss... He said that the guy was moving towards... See, this is slightly concerning. I cannot find that guy. Creston? Because at first he was heading one way, and then I went over in that direction, and then I get told that he's heading in the other direction. I would like to go into my... Oh, there's Creston. Yeah, it looks like we got a breather. If you don't mind me saying, you're an exceptional warrior, Your Grace. I'm not even sure you need the city guard. We'll hold the city. You can trust in us. Focus on finding the heart of this disease. You're our best hope.
Praised be Erastil.
The priest whispers a prayer and touches the wound on a warrior's hip, and then the wound immediately begins to close. Chod lifts his eyes and notices. Praise be to Estrel. You made it.
Right. All hail me. Thanks for knocking some sense back into me. Not sure I could live with myself if Jod had been gobbled up while I was playing hero out there.
Wait, right, all hail me. All hail you what? Yeah, letting your players exhaust every option searching for an answer that was never even hinted at. It's on par with the murder mystery where it was none of the suspects. It was the guy over there you've never seen before. What a great mystery. Yeah. And this is the thing. It's all like... we were talking, I can't remember when, about one of the things... When it comes to a mystery, there's the thing that I like to use called the rule of 3. And I say I like to use it. It's something that I've heard about. And if you go online and look up how to make a mystery... It doesn't have to be a murder mystery, it's just a mystery in a D&D game. It's all like... There are, let's take for example the murder mystery. For any murder, there has to be a motive, an opportunity, and something else that I can't quite remember off the top of my head. And a means. Wait, I thought that was the opportunity. Means, motive, and opportunity. Fair enough. I believe you. So that's the first part of the 3. And for the means, the motive, and the opportunity of the killer, you want to have 3 clues. And for each one of those clues, you want to have 3 pieces of evidence. Or evidence and clues. Yeah, for each, the means, the motive, and the opportunity, you have 3 pieces of evidence. And for each piece of evidence, you have 3 clues pointing towards that piece of evidence. You're starting to... you can have the opportunity to stab someone but not have a knife. You can have a knife but not be alone with the victim. Okay, so yeah, the means and the opportunity. The means being the knife, and the opportunity is you're in close enough proximity to stab them with as few as witnesses as you're careful. But yeah, so, you know, and then once you've compiled that list of the evidence and the clues, you put them in 3 different locations, and you just keep building, you know, and you give the players 3 reasons to go to each location. That way, overall, hopefully you should guide the players towards these places, and hopefully they'll pick up on enough clues to point them towards the evidence that they need to collect. And, you know, they don't have to collect all of the evidence. They might only get 2 pieces of the evidence that point to the means, and 2 pieces of evidence that points to the motive, and 2 pieces of evidence that points to the opportunity. Or even 1 piece, and they just have to go with it and say that it's a gut feeling that this piece of evidence is right. The other problem, to a certain degree, is actually throwing in red herrings, which help make the mystery feel more like a mystery, and not as a brute force whodunit. Because it's all fine and well having the what's it? It's all fine and well having all the evidence pointing to one person, but if you go into the first room and go, okay, here's all the clues that point to this evidence, we go off the evidence and point the finger straight at the guy that you intended, that could be great if the players feel like they worked towards it. But if the players manage to find all the clues and all the evidence and point towards a guy within about half an hour of starting the adventure, it wasn't really much of a mystery. I've attempted to do it recently with a rule of 3 for murder or evidence that every suspect ruled out in the attempt to resolve the mystery in a one-off session. They rummaged around the suspect's underwear drawers and jokingly suspected each one of them, so yeah, it didn't really happen. What didn't really happen? They didn't really figure out who the murderer was, or... The evidence for every other suspect that ruled it out in an attempt to resolve the mystery in a one-off session. They rummaged through suspects' underwear drawers and jokingly suspected each other. So yeah, it didn't really happen. You mean there was no mystery, or... I'm confused by that. I'm not sure what you mean. Anyway. Alright, all hail me, and thanks for knocking some sense into me. Are you alright?
Hardly a scratch, Your Grace. I'm afraid the same can't be said of many of the townsfolk.
We found where the fiends are coming from. Now we just need to pay them a visit and dispose of this threat.
Praise to Erastil, shield of these lands. Once the battle is over, you must make your way there and destroy the source of this plague. Burn everything in your sight if need be.
What will you do next?
There are still many wounded in the city streets. I aim to help everyone I can.
I'm in need of healing. So yeah, every suspect had evidence and immediately ruled them out, and each player started accusing each other jokingly. It was a prequel session, and no, they didn't solve the mystery, so now they joke that they can't remember them. And so now they joke that they can't remember that murderer on the ship that one time. Yeah, I mean, one of the... There's a really good murder mystery in one of the Adventure League books for the Curse of Strahd, but modules, Adventure League modules for the Curse of Strahd. Let me just double check a little something. Yeah, there's not too many people here, so I don't really think it's going to be too big of a problem. So yeah, one of the things is, basically, there's been a murder, and there's so many ghosts, because the murder happened quite a while ago, but one of the things is, nobody can rest until the murder is resolved. There's a number of ghosts equal to the number of players. And you have little info cards to give out to each of the players. The first person to touch a ghost, either by shaking their hand, getting possessed through any other means that you wish, they get that ghost's cards. The objective for you, the GM, is to make sure that everybody only gets one card. On the ghost who murdered it, it basically says that your ghost murdered the person. It gives them objectives to complete to try to pin it on somebody else, but also gives them little notes that basically say, if you find out about this and this and this, you can no longer keep it a secret. I had a player play it. I ran this in Adventure League, and I played right in store, and I had a player who pulled it off perfectly. I could not have asked for a better player to have gotten that card. I didn't realize it when I was giving it to them. I was just handing them out and seeing how this went. But they've finally gotten together all of the ghosts without getting to the evidence. And I just basically said, okay, so, you know, you've pretty much gone through this entire place, but you've not really searched in detail the rooms. Where do you all want to go first to do a detailed search of the rooms and to look for this evidence? And the players started discussing it, and they were sort of like, well, I kind of suspect this person, and they were just saying, well, no, it wasn't me. And the idea is they were supposed to keep these cards 100% secret. So, you know, they didn't know whether they were accusing the person who was the murderer or wasn't. And it was so great. And she played it off so well that she basically had them as like, no, it wasn't me, and you should believe me, and the rest of it, right up until the last moment when that final bit of evidence came into play, because they'd searched a room that she didn't expect the evidence to be in, and it was like, well, shit, you got me. And it was just magnificent to watch and play out, and I think that is probably one of the funnest. What's the motivation for the player to hide they know who the murderer is? The motivation is to just tell a good story. You know, there were other tables with other GMs who didn't pull it off quite as well, and it essentially devolved into basically the players getting fed up and revealing the cards to each other. I was very lucky that there was 2 players on my table who were just very much in there for the narrative. They were very much in there for the story. And one of them got the card that said that they were the murderer. And the other one was very insistent on sort of like getting to the bottom of this. Yeah, no, it wouldn't blend into a campaign. This was... I'm pretty sure it was a one-night only adventure. I don't even think we split that over 2 weeks, which we did a bit of during the Curse of Strahd. I think we might have done sort of like leading up until this point, but not handing out cards. And then the entire session the next week was just, you need to get these cards out. You need to get them, the players moving in the right directions. And yeah, it was pretty much just one night. And because some of the other tables, you know, it was the players got so frustrated that they started telling each other. There was a couple of tables where the players were just there to be murder hobos, and was like, all right, wasn't this guy, let's move on to the next. It really was a fun one-off, and the best thing about it was they wrote out everything so that you, the GM, could choose who the murderer would be. Yeah, I'm going to get off soon. And it didn't have to be the same every time you ran it. You could basically go, okay, roll a die, and it's murderer number 2. Or roll a die, and it's murderer number 5. It's really well done, if you ask me. I'm probably going to get off soon myself. I need to go. Go, Your Grace. I must leave as well. The battle isn't over. Horrendous creatures prowl the streets. They're wounded in need of aid. Erastil save us all.
Erastil save us all.
Kirsten gives a short bow and follows Job. Phew, it looks like we've got a breather. If you don't mind me saying, you're an exceptional warrior. We'll hold the city, and you can trust in us. Focus on finding the heart of the disease. You're our best hope. Okay. So we've defended the capital. And now we need to find and explore the tomb of the wound of Lamashtu. Save. I'm guessing I leave via my normal point. I usually leave down here. Don't like the way that it's like you need to rest by visiting a healer in the capital, and it's like I don't have time for pelt. I picked up a lot of pelts. I wonder, can I go see this? Where was he? I think he was over here. No, he's left. I was hoping that the blacksmith was there, who I may have been able to trade with.
All according to plan.
Because I'm carrying a lot of weight. Not that I'm too fussed about carrying a lot of weight, but a lot of that weight is and I don't know, it would have been nice just to be able to take a quick break in my capital, rest up overnight, drop some stuff off, sell some stuff off. I think I need to go upstream from here. Hopefully it's not the other side of the river. But with that said, well actually no, I'll explore a little, stop and continue up. And this way, and this way, and across the lake.
Resting would be nice, don't you think?
I wonder if it's the other side of the river. Let's rest. It's not going to clear up my death's door, unfortunately. But I am back in my kingdom. Bump our harvest down. Let's, in the middle of all this, do this. No. Insufficient funds for that one. Okay, we'll be doing that one. Upping the loyalty. But I shall be doing that after I be taking care of this. Did it say where? Should be located somewhere upstream of the river. Well, it wasn't located that side of the river. So let's try the other side of the river. I'm assuming this is upstream.
I need to catch my breath.
See, this is one of the problems when you don't know where the nearest coast is. Yeah, that should be upstream. So that's coming down here, through here, into another lake, and where a bunch of other rivers merge. But then I think they're all coming off down this way. Doesn't actually give me enough detail to see if this... I don't think this water is even moving. But I think it's coming down, around, and down that way. So we should have been upriver of it.
May we have a moment of
So maybe it
respite?
is on the other side of the river.
We should gather our
Rest
strength.
again.
Did you see that goblin prince's wolf? That was one impressive beast.
I wonder about its favorite food. Disobedient relatives, perhaps?
It's back to the other side of the river. Missed it.
I need to catch my breath.
Didn't manage to evade. Right, it's about time that I finished up anyway. It's interesting, it's a map that I've not been on. But we're going to call it here. Thank you for joining me. As per usual, let's just do some sign-off things. I will be back on Thursday to play more Pathfinder Kingmaker and hopefully find the Lamashtu's womb. There is a giveaway, so if you're not a follower, if you drop us a follow, when I get to 50 followers, there'll be a £10 Steam or Paizo gift card to be given away in chat. And I've also started streaming Cyberpunk 2077 on Mondays and Fridays, maybe. I'm not 100% settled on that schedule, so I've not added it yet to the Twitch scheduling. But as soon as I have 100% settled on that, I will update that. But I'll probably be back on Friday playing some of that. And on Saturdays, late on Saturdays, I play co-op games with a friend of mine who also streams at the same time. So you can get an insight on both sides of the action rather than just from one side. And that is about it. So yeah, if you're only interested in Pathfinder Kingmaker, that will be Tuesdays, Thursdays, Cyberpunk 2077, Mondays, Fridays, and random co-op stuff on a late Saturday night. Thank you for joining me. This has been session 31, so we're 83 hours into this, and still no sign of the end. Oh my god. I mean, if I was really interested in getting to the end of this as quickly as possible, I'd just shut up and stop talking so much. And oh yeah, let me just double check. Is my good friend Halfsinger? Yes, my friend Halfsinger Games is streaming now. She is playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and so we are going to go raid them. Halfsinger Games. So if you'd all like to join me, that would be appreciated. If not, you're free to go. Teddy bye, and see you next time.